Just a little sniffles for you guys. What is up, YouTube? Post to the Facebook really quick. Be right with you guys. Clients, marketing campaigns. Premiere. All right. Good to go there. What's going on, guys? How is it going? Oh, wait. I gotta get my YouTube live video thing up. Okay. There we go. Now I can see you guys' comments. Wasn't showing it to me, but then I remembered I'm on Google Hangouts. Oh, wait. Oh, this needs to be quiet. Okay. What's going on, guys? Sorry for my absence this weekend. Had a lot of stuff going on. Just want to make sure the connection's going to be good. And we'll get started. UK gang. What's going on, Zakari? What's going on, Sin? How's it going, guys? Gonna take a few seconds, wait for a few people to get in, and then we're gonna go into questions you should ask potential clients or clients about their business when going into a marketing campaign. Some questions I ask, a few documents that I look through to get ideas about what questions to ask. Yeah, my bad, Sin. Had a busy Sunday, I'll tell you what, man. It's been awesome. Just actually took on another client for my business today, so I'll be doing somebody in the catering industry, which is cool. So that'll be really sweet. And then I'm also getting all of my VAs set up. So it's a training process, really. I'm working on getting all of my trainings set up so that way those guys are ready to go and I can automate all of this stuff. Mohammed, what's going on? Glad to see you could make it to this one. Webcore landed his first client on his first call, or he landed a client on his first cold call. That's awesome. That's really cool, man. How much are you making off of them? You already started pulling in 5K a month plus, or you start off at the basic package doing like a K, 2K a month? But anyways, we're gonna go ahead and get started. So real quickly, guys, before we get into the actual course, just last minute updates for this week. We are ending the promo for, well, it's not, we are ending it because we're basically running out of spots, but we have 2 more spots left for the $50 off and free 30-minute consultation. If you guys haven't signed up for the digital marketing school yet, all you have to do is I'll provide the promo code below, or you can just message me and I'll send it to you. Actually, I'll just put the promo code in the messenger box really quick. Consult me now. Promo code I just put in the messenger box in case you guys are interested. We have 2 spots, like I said, left for that. You get $50 off the course and a free 30-minute consultation to jumpstart your digital marketing agency with me. So if you guys are interested in that, we're ending that Friday if the last 2 don't sell out. Outside of that, we have some pretty cool stuff coming next week for Columbus Day. We're doing a cool little promotion for you guys, so stay tuned if you want to see some stuff on that. Also, if you guys are just tuning in or haven't seen it before, make sure to subscribe and check out all of my social media links. All of those will be left down in the description after the video is finished tonight. So anyways, what we're going to do is we're going to quickly get into an article that I've talked about in other videos before, and we haven't gone over yet, but we're going to basically go into questions that you should be asking your clients when you go in to meet with them, when you're trying to land them as a client, and then also when you get done landing them as a client, there's still some questions out of this that you want to make sure you're still asking if you didn't get the information up front. You won't always get the answers you're looking for from business owners for questions that that are related to their marketing campaign. You won't always get all the questions up front. There's just so much to ask. So you will have to do some of it. Even if you sign them up, you still will want to ask them some of these questions. So that way they're a little more aware, or you are a little more aware of what their goals are, what they're trying to do, where they've spent before, just, all of the information about their business. So I'm going to go through some questions that I recommend. I'll, kind of throw those in as we go through this article, but really quickly, we're just going to jump through this article. It's got about 90 questions. And again, I've recommended this article a ton before. So if you haven't checked it out yet, definitely check it out. We're going to show some screenception real quick. All right, another screenception. Let's go down here. Hang on one sec. I'll get the article up. So now that we're here, I just want to make sure that the Google screen share is working. Yep, everything's working there. Cool. So we're going to go through this article very briefly, and we won't hit all of the questions, but I will leave this link in the description below. If you want, you can go ahead and copy it right now and follow along. But that's up to you guys what you want to do. Actually, no, I'll do it at the end. I'll make sure to include the link at the end. So 90 questions to ask to improve your client relationships. So it's not only to improve your client relationships, but it's also to help you get the sale. Because here's the thing that a lot of people miss. They don't ask enough questions. They don't ask enough questions in their initial meeting with the customer or potential customer. So when they go back to put the audit together, or not the audit, but sorry, the proposal together to pitch their business, they don't have enough information to put together I guess a proposal that's going to be not only customized to what they were talking about with regards to their goals, but also customized as far as pricing, what specific launch dates you have, what the timeline is, all of that information. And not to forget all of their business information, like what their sales are, how much their cost is, what their profit margins are. All of these are important questions that you're going to want to ask. So we're just going to quickly go through some of these and talk about, why you want to ask some of these questions, what's important about it. And, if you're missing out on these, again, you want to check out this article. It's pretty detailed. There's other articles out there. And if you guys are looking for more free sources than just this, because this isn't the only article out there, all you have to do is go to Google, type in marketing questions to ask. And it'll give you, look, 71 questions every marketer should be asking, 13 questions that will lead you to your perfect marketing strategy. There's all kinds of questions you can ask. So just go out and check out some other resources as well. Oops, we're still on this one. Okay. So obviously the most important question, what are your monthly marketing goals? And this is really simple. You're just trying to figure out what are their goals. Are their goals to build an email list? Are they trying, and don't get it confused. Everybody's goal is to make money, but they will have other goals in mind that they're trying to accomplish for their business. So one goal in particular that a lot of businesses want to do is they want to work on their brand to where they can become, at least locally, a household name. And that's the kind of question, what are your monthly marketing goals? That's one of the questions that kind of leads them into figuring out what type of branding you want to do. Also, you need to know what kind of numbers you're trying to hit. So this catering company that I just took on, they're selling about 400 to 500 meals per month. And they want to eventually be, by the end of the month, they want to be, 400 to 500 meals per week. Okay, so that's about 1,200 to 2,000, or 1,600 to 2,000 meals per month. All right, that's what they're at currently. They want to get to about 1,000 meals per week. So they're doing about 4,000 meals per month. All right, so if I didn't have that in mind, I don't have a goal or an attainable piece of information that I can look at and say, okay, well, this is where I started, Mr. Business Owner. You said you were at 400. In the last 2 months, we were able to get you up to 700 meals that we were selling. This is what I'm going to be tracking when I'm working with him. I want to increase his number of meals every single month, and I eventually get it to the point where he's making at least 1,200 meals, 1,000 to 1,200 meals a week. for his business. And that's, that's what you have to be able to, if you don't ask these types of questions, you don't understand what the business owner is really looking for. And then of course, quarterly, these all kind of go in one and the same, these are all basically the same question, just different time periods. So, obviously if the monthly goal is to reach 1,000 a week, so 4,000 a month, then the quarterly is going to be 16,000 at least. And then the yearly would be 12 times 48,000. Okay, so those are things you're going to want to keep in mind when you're talking with these businesses. So let's go down a little more. What are the consequences? Okay, in some of these you don't have to ask all of these questions. Please do not go there. Don't get me wrong, these are great questions, but do not go there and have a list of 90 questions and say we're just going to go through this list. No, you will lose them so quickly. You need to find out what are the most important questions that you don't have the answers to already. So if you're doing enough research about these businesses up front, you don't have to ask them every single question, and you really shouldn't be asking them all of these questions. There's several that you'll be able to ask, plenty of questions that you'll be able to ask, but you don't want to ask 90 questions in one meeting. You won't get anything done. So here's another, one of the most important questions. What are your monthly sales goals, yearly sales goals? Quarterly sales goals. This is important again because your end goal, what you're trying to do is increase the amount of sales that they get. That is always the end goal for marketing. Yes, it may be about branding, but the idea behind branding is to increase engagement and loyalty with the company, which in turn generates more sales. All right, so that's what your goal always is going to be, is these three parts right here. So you need to figure out what their monthly sales goals are. So again, I told you, with mine, he's at 400 to 500 meals. He wants to hit around 1,000 meals. His average cost, or his average price point, is around $9.95 per meal. So that's around almost $10,000 per month that he wants to make. So $10,000 as opposed to, I think he's making around $3,000 to $4,000. So this is where we increase those sales goals for him. That's obviously the most important part. All right, so, and again, this is another question. You don't necessarily have to ask this. What happens if you don't achieve these goals? Well, he's just not going to be happy, obviously. So do you have a service level agreement between marketing and sales in place? So this won't apply to every business. This is just when they have, oh crap. Honestly, I wouldn't even worry about this question. That's a little bit too much in depth for most businesses that you guys are going to be working with. So we'll just skip that one. Let's see, what happens if, okay, how much do you spend? That's a good question. How much do you spend annually? So that's a good question to ask because you're trying to gauge. Most business owners can't come to you, because one of the other questions you want to ask, sorry, I'm getting all over this. One of the questions you want to ask is, what type of marketing have you done before? So have you done TV ads? Have you done radio? Have you done print? Have you done digital marketing before? And if so, how much did you spend? What did you do? Those are the kinds of questions you want to ask, because you're trying to get an idea of what they've done previously on marketing, so you can figure out, number one, what worked and what didn't. And then number two, it gives you an idea of how much they were willing to spend, where you don't have to necessarily go in and directly ask them, so, hey, how much do you spend a month? Or how much are you going to give me a month? It makes it more indirect, so that way you can get that information. So again, a very good question. So let me check and make sure we don't have too many questions over here from the people, because I know the people always got some questions. Lex, what's going on? Look at him. My VA is on my YouTube live right now. If you guys are looking for a VA, I know that he's looking for more work. So if you guys are looking for one, I can recommend one on Upwork. I'm sure Lax would love that. Sorry I didn't email you back. Had something come up financially. I'll enroll soon. Alex, not a problem, man. Take your time. I mean, just know I'll go ahead and give you a sneak peek. We're jumping the price up next Friday, so you'll definitely want to get in before next Friday. Price is going up to $3.99, I believe is what I have it set at. So price will go up next Friday at $3.99. Make sure you get in that. It's either Friday or Sunday. I can't remember. But just wanted to let you know that. You've read my mind. Thank you. Yeah, not a problem. Do you have a pitch in your sales process? I think you're asking if I pitch my customers, which of course you won't close a customer with. If you're talking about like Okay, I think I get what you're saying. Do I have like an actual written out pitch? That I don't do scripts. I like to go organically. I feel like organically works better. I would recommend in the beginning getting a script going because you won't be as familiar with digital marketing or social media marketing. And so, I can remember when I first started off, I didn't have a script and I was just going in and kind of shooting from the hip. So, it made it a little more difficult to uh, sell the customer up front. But once I got more comfortable with all of the information, it made it a lot easier to be able to sell that customer. So I would recommend maybe working on, not necessarily a written script, but something that at least kind of guides you through how you plan to present to them, but not necessarily something that is, scripted word for word. Yeah, these are all part of the sales process, all of these questions that I'm talking about. So, once I go in and I show them the digital marketing audit, that's when I'm talking or asking them about these questions, because the point of the digital marketing audit is to get you in there in the door. Then once you get in the door, the first meeting, right before the proposal meeting, this is where you ask, qualification questions. And not really qualification questions, it's more along the lines of you're trying to figure out what they need with regards to marketing. So what they actually need to what you need to know as the marketer to get them results. That's what these questions are for. So we're going to hop back in really quick, go through some more. What is your customer acquisition cost? That's a good number to know. Most business owners, I'll tell you right now, won't know any of these questions, so I usually don't even ask them. Some customers, you'll have some customers that are really great at keeping up with all their numbers. They're data driven, so they keep up with all of this. So, I wouldn't say ignore it, but if you can tell that the person has all kinds of numbers about their business, like what they've spent to the T, what their ROI is, all of that, feel free to ask these kinds of questions. But if you're talking to them and they're like, oh, I don't really know what my sales were for last month. If they don't know what their sales were for last month, I'm telling you right now, they're not going to know what their customer acquisition cost was. So try and stay away from that question. It just won't even be worth your time. Let's see, what percentage of customer deals are influenced by marketing or generated by marketing? So a lot of them, again, what's crazy is most business owners, and it sucks at the same time, it's kind of sad, but most business owners don't know the answers to a lot of these questions. That's why you want to stick with the more broad ones and try and determine the other ones by yourself. Like ROI, even most of them don't know what their ROI on their marketing campaigns are, or on their marketing spend. They don't know what their ROI is. So that's what you're going to want to check for them, or at least start putting in place when you take their marketing on. Let's see, what marketing metrics do you currently track? That's a good one to ask, because that basically anybody can ask. Either they'll tell you they don't track anything, or they'll give you exactly what they're tracking. Let me see, what tactics were least successful? So this is, again, back to what marketing they've used before. So this is where, this is a very important question, because it's asking them what's worked before, and that can give you an idea of what will work best in the future. Let's see, what about your current measurements are flawed? Let's see, let's get to some of the better ones. Here's a good one. What tools do you currently use to manage your marketing? So this is getting an idea of how well they're involved right now. What tools do you use to analyze and track? So that can tell you that'll tell you whether they're using like Facebook Ads Manager or Power Editor or Google Analytics. It'll give you information on whether they're using platforms like that to track their campaigns. So instead of that question before where it was like, what's your ROI or what's your customer acquisition cost, you can actually just go to, are you tracking it all? And if they're not tracking online, they're probably not tracking the other information. Questions detailing the client's business. So this is more, again, about the client's actual business. What values and beliefs define your brand? These are super important. So this comes into play when you're actually creating the brand, creating the story, trying to put content together for them. Or even just to show them cool ideas in your pitch to get them excited and engaged. This is where this information comes in handy. So what are the pain points you solve for your customers? This is a huge question. This is what you will base a lot of your marketing campaign on. because one of the best things you can do for a business is to solve someone else's issue. So if you're solving an issue or providing value, that's going to be a great thing to provide content on. So that's a definite question you want to ask. How do prospects currently find your product? That's a good one. What sources, so what products or services are bringing you the highest value customers, and which ones make you the most? What is your upsell strategy? That's a great one. What are your biggest marketing challenges? So is it getting sales? Is it getting traffic to their location? Is it building a leads list? Is it re-engagement with an audience to get resales? That's actually the catering company. They do a really great job of getting clients. They have had a tough time actually getting resell orders to previous customers. So that's what they basically actually hired me on for. I'm going to be working on a lot of retargeting and remarketing campaigns for their business. What are your biggest sales challenges? That's a good one. Let me see. What does your sales process look like? You need to know this because you need to know how what they currently do, or what the cycle is for them to acquire a customer. How long is it? Is it a long sales cycle? So like for attorneys might have a longer sales cycle. Whereas someone in the restaurant industry has a very short sales cycle. Let me see here. What else do we have? There's a good one. Who are your biggest competitors? That's huge. Who isn't a competitor now but could be in the future? What makes your business unique? These are all questions you definitely want to ask. Let's see. What else do we have in this little segment? What do you want your company to be known for? So what type of authority do you want to have in your local, regional, or national market? What makes you personally excited to come to work every day? Because this says a lot about the business itself and the character of the business and the people who work there. That's a great question to ask. It makes for unique content because it only relates to that business. What technological advances or products could disrupt your business and the model in the next 5 or 10 years? So this is planning into the future. This isn't something you'll want to necessarily do right away, but it is a question you'll want to ask at some point because you do want to know what their future plans are, what they expect to happen in the industry. So for example, we could go with social media platforms. We don't really know what's going to happen in the next 5 to 10 years with social media platforms. Facebook could still be here. They could be completely gone. Who knows? But those are questions that are relevant to business owners as well, because you want to know what their business plans are. A lot of people in the manufacturing industry, their jobs are getting replaced by robots. So that's a huge thing, not necessarily for marketing campaigns, but I just wanted to provide example. Businesses change all the time, so you have to keep that in mind when planning their marketing content as well. So questions on the brand's audience and industry. So who are their customers? These are all super important questions. Who is your target audience? How old are they? These are questions I ask. How old are they? What things or what interests do they have that are just, kind of like hobbies? What interests do they have with regards to political life, family life? Are they, typically married or single? All of those questions about the customer, it lets you know what their typical audience looks like. What is the size of your total addressable market? So basically, are they just in Atlanta or are they in the whole state of Georgia? That's it. Who can they service? This is a huge question. What percentage of your market is aware that you even exist? This is a great question to see if they know. A lot of them won't know it, but it is a great question to see if they do know it, because if they do know it, it's super helpful. What goals you're trying to reach. What are top publications or blogs? You can always do this research yourself. It's pretty easy to find that stuff online. Are there seasonal buying patterns? This is a great one because you want to know when to expect downtimes and what you can do to kind of prepare for them. What types of prospects are not a good fit for your company? This is a great question to ask. So what types of customers you kind of want to stay away from? What misperceptions do prospects have about your brand? Again, another great question. Some issues you can solve for that business. What do leads say they like or dislike about the brand? That's a great question. And then what are the top reasons a lead doesn't convert into a sale? So this is actually probably one of the most important questions on here. It's figuring out why they aren't currently closing. What's keeping them from getting those sales? So right now with that catering company that I was just talking about, they feel like, well, in the past 2 months, actually, before they talked to me, they felt like their biggest issue was that they were charging a little too much, because they were charging over $11. And he came back to me, he said that he felt like the $9.95 mark was the perfect area to stay inside of, because most of the people in his area, he feels like they have a $10 budget per meal. So, this is a very good question to be able to answer, and I can actually use social media marketing and internet marketing, digital marketing, to solve that question and figure out what it really is about his customers. We can ask questions, do polling, all kinds of stuff to his audience to make sure that we figure out what the issues are. And then questions on the agency-client relationship. So why did you change agencies? What made you want to hire us instead of someone else? This is all good information, not only for their business, but for you as well. So what worked or what didn't work about your previous marketing partner? Huge question to ask, because you want to avoid anything that didn't work, right? You want to avoid making them upset. What would make you want to fire our agency? I don't know if I would necessarily do that question. Again, you don't want to do all of these questions. Some of them are kind of bizarre. I don't know if I would ever ask that question or say it like that. I would say maybe not our agency, but maybe what would make you get rid of an agency? What are things that you didn't like that made you want to leave this agency? That would be another way to put it. Who are the decision makers? This is important, because you want to know people that you need to talk to directly. If you have any questions or issues that come up, you want to be able to get to the person who can get you the fastest answer so you can keep things rolling. Let me see. What have we done recently that surprised you? So basically, you could go with what kind of caught your attention about us, stuff like that. What have we done that was of most value to you? So that, that question right there, their answer might be the digital marketing audit. If you're doing it properly, that audit could be the most valuable thing. Or if you're working with them, these are questions. If they're already a customer, so you have to understand these are also for questions for people who might already be a customer. But you can ask them beforehand too. How can my team improve its communication with your team? Great question. Who on your team do we need to build a better relationship with? Skip down, see some more of these. How do you handle password management of your profiles? That's a good one. How can we better communicate deadlines, timelines, and project updates? This is going to be huge. Communication. So when you really get into running the agency and you're not doing the posting every day and stuff like that, you're really just doing the planning and organizing. This becomes super important, because if you're not communicating deadlines, how you want things run, how you want things posted, things like that, that's when you start to have issues with your campaigns getting results. So these things need to be outlined very clearly with your VAs or with your business partners or people who work for you, so you can get the best results for your campaigns. What is keeping you up at night? That's a decent, more broad question that every salesperson asks, but it is a very good question. What's keeping you up at night literally is just a question that asks any type of business owner, what keeps you from sleeping because you're worried about making the next sale, or you're worried about, making ends meet this month. That's a great question to ask. What would you like more training on? So that's another great way to get them to feel more comfortable with you, is you don't just provide them services for marketing, but you train them on things. Get them used to using social media marketing platforms. They're not going to just take it away from you because you taught them how to use it. Trust me, most of them don't have the time or money to hire a full-on staff to do what you do. But it is helpful in getting them to understand a little more why it's important, and it keeps them around longer. And then what services do you wish our agency offered? This is a great one for growing your agency and figuring out what customers want to know a little more about. So just make sure that you're asking this question in the future and when you have actual clients who come through your agency, because it's going to help you stay on top of the game and make sure that you're staying up with the latest trends. So that's basically it for this article. I mean, those are basically the questions that I ask. It's most important to ask what their goals are, what type of marketing they've done previously, what's worked and what hasn't worked, what upsets them about past agencies, why did they leave the agency that they were with. There's so many different questions. that you're able to ask. You just have to be able to recall them when you get in the meeting, and that's the biggest thing most people have an issue with, is being able to recall those questions and say, okay, well, I'm in the meeting now, I'm kind of losing my stuff. Where do I need to go from here? So, that's all stuff that you want to keep in mind. So let me look at some of these questions really quick. Oh God, y'all have been talking. Okay. Where are we at? Good God. Hell yeah, what's good? What's up, rising from the ashes? Hey, I've been talking to you a little bit this week. Let me see. Guys, this course is very helpful. I'm having my second meeting with my first potential client later. Very, very excited. Mohammed, I'm glad to hear the school's doing well for you, and I'm also glad to hear that you're about to get your first client. That's really awesome, man. I can't wait to hear stories about you working with them. So make sure you keep me up to date on how you're doing with them. How did you meet them and what industry? Would love to know more. Let me see. Did anyone take Ty Lopez's course? I took Ty Lopez's course. If you have a specific question, feel free to ask. Dan took Joe Soto's course. God, y'all were talking. I love it. I made a walkthrough of the course. You can check it out. Okay. Yeah, there's an exclusive Facebook for Joe Soto's course, but I'm not in it because I bought it from another online store for a lower price. I actually work as a contact driver for a catering company. Okay, cool. I think I caught up now. Okay, cool. So that was basically it for the questions guide. So basically, if you guys have any questions past what I just went over, if you have any questions past that, or specific questions about, a question you're thinking you should ask or anything like that, feel free to put them in the chat box now, and I'll get to those. Best practices to manage client tasks, paid payments, due, notes, etc. Jamerson, the best way to do it is going to be to look into outsourcing, hiring a VA. You can actually get a VA to do all of that for you for like $3 an hour. I have a VA right now who works for me building my digital marketing audits. I actually also this week I took on my first kind of sales rep for my digital marketing agency. So I also hired a VA to start putting together digital marketing audits for that sales rep. But that's what I totally recommend doing. Getting a VA involved is going to free up your time elsewhere. So in the past month, I've actually taken on a VA for social media management just for my course, for social media management, for video editing, for blog article writing, blog uploading. What else? They basically manage almost everything for my personal channels now. So, but that's what's going to really help you scale your business without actually being able to outsource effectively. That you won't be able to move forward, at least at the rate that you're hoping for. It will take more of your time personally, which keeps you from making money. Alex, I'm thinking about doing a video or two on outsourcing. If you're looking for a full walkthrough with templates and everything like that, you really should just get in the course. You'll see what I mean. And the reason why is because the course we just actually uploaded 2 weeks ago, it was either a 3 or 4 part video series on outsourcing. And I included my hour-long training video for one of my social media managers. I included templates and documents that I included for them for training and weekly task documents. So all of that information is actually in the course. All you have to do is get in. But I do plan on making an outsourcing video. Actually, I think it's on my content calendar. Let me check. It is creating a content. No, that's not it. Top 5 websites. Maybe I didn't put it on here. I thought I did. Well, it's not in the next month's worth of content. Creating content, yeah. Well, there will be a video. I do have it actually sectioned out to do a section on VAs and outsourcing and kind of how to get through the training on that and stuff like that. So I will be going over that video eventually over the next month. You probably, if I'm being honest, you probably won't see anything on YouTube about that from me. But I can say that in November, I will probably have something up with regards to outsourcing. I have a whole calendar basically put together right now. I'll actually show that to you guys so you guys can have a quick glimpse of this as well. Somebody was asking me for me to do for them to upload access to it on my course, but unfortunately I can't because they don't have, what am I doing? Oh yeah, they don't have my work email domain, so they're not allowed to view that calendar. But what I can do is kind of show you guys what I work with. All right, so this is my content calendar, and this is kind of, so you can see we have email marketing in yellow, we have social media posts in light blue, we have YouTube video uploads in red, we have live videos here in this kind of blue text with the red square, blog posts in green, so you can see it's all kind of planned out for this month. Unfortunately, none of it is actually on outsourcing yet, but I do promise you guys it will be coming, because I'm actually running 2 series right now. So the first series is on SEO. If you haven't checked out my blog at serialentrepreneur.academy/blog, you can check out all the articles. They always come out on my blog first, and then we provide a video to come up with it after. But the blog articles are really good. We're going into the series on a beginner's guide to SEO, but it's really a beginner's and intermediate guide to SEO if you're asking me. And we're also working on our building a successful agency series, just the things you need to know to build a successful agency. So we started off with digital marketing, the 5 pieces to digital marketing and SMMA. And we're going to continue off of that for the rest of this month, on top of some other random stuff, like we have 5 tips to getting YouTube subscribers coming next week. Later on this weekend, we have largest industry spenders for PPC. Earlier this week, we did 5 strategies to grow your Instagram follower account. So if you guys haven't seen any of those videos, make sure you check them out. They are up on YouTube now. Well, that's a content calendar. That's kind of how it works. This is what literally keeps my life in order and keeps my VAs working. They just literally come in here every week. At the beginning of the week, they'll figure out what all they have to plan for and post for, what all they have to write, what all they have to upload, and it guides their life, guides my life, makes it a whole hell of a lot easier. All right. Oh God, we got a bunch of questions again. I've seen the outline, best practices. Okay. Oh, I overlooked it. Whoops. Yeah, it's got to stay packed. The more packed you keep it, the more you're on top of people's Facebook feeds, the more you're on top of their, or not on top of, but the more action you're getting from their email accounts. I spend right now, I think it's what? I spend $60 for 12 blog articles, and I spend about $40 to $60 a week on my social media manager. So a total of about $260 just for one business, and that covers almost everything except for video editing. We're just throwing video editing in this week, so I'd imagine it'll probably go up to around, if we do 12 a month, it'd probably be around $300 to $350 a month for them to manage all of that. But again, they're managing almost every single aspect of it. So it's worth that to me to save that time in a month, because they probably put in, I'm spending $300 to $350 a month, but they're probably putting in, I'd say, at least 60 to 70 hours. So 60 to 70 hours for $350, I'll take it all day. And it saves me time, lets me, get on with other things and move my business forward. This is the key. This is the key to scaling your agency. If you don't scale your agency, you're not going to make enough money. And you won't be able to do it fast enough to get to that 6-figure income. So just keep those things in mind, guys. This is super important stuff to keep in mind. And again, if you're looking for how to do this kind of stuff, all you have to do is head on over to the Digital Marketing School, or excuse me, the SerialEntrepreneur.academy, and you can check out the Digital Marketing School there and get enrolled. Again, we have our last 2 offers for the Digital Marketing School for $50 off and a free 30-minute consultation with me to jumpstart your agency. So if you're looking for that, make sure you just check in the description below after this video is posted, and you'll get the promo code for that. But that's basically it, guys. I just wanted to real quickly go into that information for you guys so you could see how I do it, what questions I'm asking, what's important, what's not so important to ask when you guys get on these meetings. So I'm going to head out of here for now. If you have any other questions or concerns, as always, just leave them in the comments section below. Or what's better is you can reach out to me on Facebook at Jordan-Serial Entrepreneur. You can reach out to me on Instagram at instagram.com/serial_entrepreneur. And at Snapchat at SerialENT. Feel free to reach out to me at any of those there. Check out SerialEntrepreneur.academy to check out our school, and we also have our monthly mentorship program there. Last thing is, if you're still not in our free Facebook group, you're missing out on tons of free content and information and engagement with people who are currently engaged, like you guys are, with digital marketing. So make sure you head on over to that group. Again, the description, all of this will be left in the link below, or in the description below after this video is posted. But thank you guys so much for jumping on. I really appreciate it. If this video was helpful for you, just throw a like on the video for me. I'd really appreciate it, or share it to your page. That would be awesome too. But anyways, guys, I'm going to get out of here and go get some more editing done for these videos. So I will talk to you guys later. Serial Entrepreneur out. If I can figure out. Oh yeah, I figured out how to close it. Okay, now I'm leaving. Bye.